everybody, welcome back to Having Coffee with Cullotta. Frankie said I could intro this one as long as I wore this hat. So here I am. There's a pizza cooking in the oven right now, and I figure while the pizza's cooking, hey Frankie, can you tell some stories about the Upper Crust and the guys and the things that you guys did?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, great. Don't forget, tomorrow, Frank's gonna be live, Sunday, May 31st, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Here we go.
Cullotta, Cullotta, grab your favorite brew. Ask a question, he'll answer it for you. The Mafia, the Mafia, the Mafia, the Mafia. You better hit prescribe if you know what's good for you. Drinking a cup of coffee with Frank Cullotta. He'll tell you a lot. He's Frank Cullotta.
I'm going to tell you a little history about the Upper Crust Pizzeria that I had in Vegas. When I opened up this place, I took Leo Guardino as my partner in the place. He was my partner in crime too, and he was he was good, a good partner. You didn't have to worry about him, that's for sure. This was a legitimate business as far as I was concerned. Now, in order to do this place, of course, we both had money. Leo had a home. I owned a condo, but you got to open a place. It could cost you $60,000, $70,000 back then. We're all cheap. Nobody wants to go to the safety deposit box and take money out. So Leo says, come on, I'll show you a good section where there's a lot of money. A lot of people work for the casinos and they keep their tips. They don't pay their taxes. They don't report their tips, let's put it like that. So we went over there. And I think we were out in Vegas 3 weeks together. And we burglarized 3 houses. Actually 2. 2 houses and this one section. But we did it in a week's period of time. And the reason why we had to do it in a week's period of time, because the first house we burglarized, we didn't know how much money was going to be in there. No idea. $37,000 in cash. My hand, the God. In the top drawer in the master bedroom. They never knew there were people like us in this town at the time. And when Leo come out, he come out with that money. I didn't know it. I said, you're out quick. What happened? People come home? He said, no. He said, I found it right away. It was in the top drawer. So we went over his house. We counted it, $37,000. I said, holy Christ. I said, they must be in the casino industry where they're keeping their tips. Didn't have time to hide their money. So we put that money aside. We could use this for the restaurant we were talking about, Leo. So we got to start, $37,000. Let's go back tomorrow. I said, that's a little too soon. Well, we got to do it right away. I said, all right. So we went back a couple of days later, before the word traveled around the neighborhood. We knew one thing, that if these people called it in as a burglary, how are they going to explain having $37,000 in the house? We don't take TVs, no radios, no cameras. We're there strictly for cash and jewelry. When you spot that kind of money, you leave the jewelry. We came back a couple of days later, went down the street. I used to call it Las Vegas Country Club. All these houses were located right on the country club. So we popped another door. Leo went in again. Of course, we had the police radios and all that shit, walkie-talkies. He come on. Now, there's only Leo and I. He comes out this time. He's got $30,000. I don't know what he's got. He's smiling again, had that shit-eating grin on his face. I wish he could be here to talk about it. So we take that. We go to his house, count at $30,000. I said, I think this should be enough to open up a joint. So that's when we went into the process of opening up a restaurant. Of course, he had to put his house down because you needed property to rent this in these shopping centers. And we bought the equipment, had an architect, did all the work. I mean, we put this place together. It was a vacant store, vacant. And we decided to put it next to a lounge. And the lounge was called My Place Lounge. I said, we know the guy who owns it, or a woman that owned it. She was married to this guy. So I asked her and him, you mind if I knock a hole in your wall? Why? I said, so we could serve liquor and sandwiches through the wall. It'll work for both of us. No problem. Even if they didn't want to do it, they would have done it because of who I was. So we made a hole in the wall. We put louver doors there, and we were able to do it that way. We couldn't get a liquor license. And that's how we used to serve food in and out of there. And we had to, I mean, it was a sharp little place. Could only hold like 20 people, but that's all we cared about. We were just trying to have a legitimate business and put people to work. So we opened up this place. It took about 60 days. What took the most time was the fire inspector. They got to come and check all the sprinkler systems and all of that. We were up to par and everything. The staff came easy. The people we hired. My father-in-law, he wasn't my father-in-law at the time. His name was Nicky Costanza. And he had a few kids. His daughter and I were dating. So, of course, I put her in there as a trusty employee. I knew she wouldn't rob on me. And I hired this guy. Leo and I hired this guy, Mexican guy. His name was Armando. Armando, if you're watching this, I'm making you famous right now, Armando. Now, I didn't care if he was Mexican, black, pink, yellow, or orange, as long as he followed our recipes and he wouldn't steal. So I hired this kid. And he was very good. He followed the recipes to the T. But my father-in-law, he wasn't, as I said, he wasn't my father-in-law at the time. Didn't like the idea of me putting a Mexican guy in there. It should be only Italians, only Italians. I said, Nick, he's just going to follow orders. Don't tell me what to do in my restaurant, Nick. But okay. Because he owned restaurants, and he thought, you have to be an Italian to run a restaurant. So anyway, this Armando worked out for a while. Restaurant was doing good. Then the police found out about it. Of course, you know what happens when the police find out, don't you? They're going to be parking there every day watching and bothering our customers. Then who else is going to come around there? The newspaper people. As a matter of fact, the one guy that came around there, his name was Ned Day. He's dead now. We had nothing to do with it. He died of a heart attack. Ned Day, he liked our food. He used to talk about it, but he always talked bad about us. Not our food, about the criminals that owned this place and this and that. Leo wasn't very fond of him, my partner. So I think my wife come back to, she's dead. Ned Day's out in front. He ordered a beef sandwich. So I told Leo, your buddy's out there, Ned Day. Leo grabbed the sandwich from Armando, and he spit in the sandwich. I said, Leo, that guy talks bad about us. I said, Leo, that's nasty, man. So she says, I'm not delivering the sandwich. So Leo said, I'll bring it out to him. So Leo went on, hope you enjoy your sandwich, Mr. Day. He came back. I said, are you sick, man? He said, fuck him. Who cares about him? I said, all right, Leo. That's the only violent thing I'd ever seen Leo done. Otherwise, he was a wuss. He was an easygoing guy. Now, I got locked up for a day because I didn't register as a felon. At that time, they'd lock you up. You got to show your residence. So to bust my balls, they arrested me. I'm in there overnight. I'm getting out the next day. When I go back to the restaurant, I said, where's Armando? She was my girlfriend at the time, Nick's daughter, Elaine. She's my father fired him. I fired him. Why? Because he was Mexican. I said, he can't do that. So I went and got Armando. I brought him back. I said, you're working there. Don't worry about it. I do the firing, Leo and I. Now, we had a lot of heat there. And I got to tell you another story. I got a couple stories. Wayne Newton, his wife used to come in there every day. Every day for lunch. She'd have one of them cappuccino coffees, some funny drinks. So I told my wife, who's that Chinese broad over there? She's there every day. She says, that's Wayne Newton's wife. Oh, what'd you do her? She's none of your business. Mind your own business. I said, who cares anyway what she's going to do for me? About 2-3 weeks after she's been coming there every day, I'm standing by the window looking out, hoping more customers would come in because I knew the cops used to bother everybody. I see a yellow Rolls Royce pull into the parking lot. And I'm with Leo, and I said, oh, I wonder what that kind of car's doing over here. And I see cars are on it, police cars. unmarked police cars, detectives. They leave. The Rolls Royce comes to my restaurant. At this time, he had a black bodyguard. I think he called him Bear. A big guy. And he come into place. He said, Mr. Newton would like to have dinner. He'd like to talk to the owner. So I said, tell him to come in. He comes in and he says, listen, my wife told me about this place, that the food was good here. And I acted like I didn't know who his wife was. And he said, could I arrange to once a week to bring people in here? I said, we could only hold 20 people. He says, yeah. I said, and we could give you a selection, one selection off of 4 of our items, highline items, like veal and stuff like that. And we figure out a price. And we figured out a price. And he came in there once a week with 20 people, and he would pay. He tipped the cook $300. He tipped the one waitress. All he needed was one waitress. And I don't know what he gave her. She wouldn't tell me anyway. And he gave us like whatever it was, $3,500, $4,000. That was once a week. So he was a good customer, Wayne. A lot of other movie stars used to come in there as time went by, but they couldn't take the heat from the cops. Now, getting back to Armando, we had a lot of heat on us. So one day I come in, I said, where's Armando? Your father didn't fire him again, did he? She said, no, he said he couldn't work here no more. I said, why? She said, I don't know. I said, I got to find out. So I had to hire some other guys. They weren't working out. So finally I went to Armando's house. I said, Armando, what's the problem? What did I do wrong? Nick didn't fire you. He said, the FBI come by my house and talk to my mother. He says, I never pay attention to you guys. You were good to me. I don't want no problems. He said, but they scared my mother because they said that you guys were gangsters and killers. He said, my mother talked me out of quit, but I want to come back. I just don't know how. Now the guy's speaking broken English to me. I'm putting these pieces together when he's talking to me, trying to figure out what he's saying, but I'm getting it together. I said, listen, it's up to you. The job's there for you. It's there. The price, the pay's going to be the same. If you want to come back, you're more than welcome. You don't know. I don't do nothing to you. I don't talk. You don't see anything we do in there. No, I don't know nothing, senor. I don't know nothing. The job's open for me. The next day was back working for me. So that's a couple instances. Now there's a funny one if you want to hear about it. Like I said, we were legit. Leo had a hard time being legit. We took turns opening up the restaurant. One day I opened up the door and I thought I was in the wrong place. I walked in and I seen on the left, as you walk in, I looked to the left. I thought I was in the place next door. I seen all these radios, VCRs. I said, what the fuck? What? And I'm looking over there. And then I seen a couple of feet dangling through the false ceiling. Next door there was a place called Union Premium. And they used to sell, at that time, all the electronical products in the town. It was like one of the first stores. And Leo comes coming down. I said, what, are you out of your mind? How are we going to get all this shit out of here? It ain't worth 2 cents. It's garbage. He said, I just couldn't stand seeing it next door, knowing it was that easy to rob. So what he did was he went next door, crawl along their false ceiling, start pulling stuff up, dropping it in our restaurant. The hard part was getting it out of there. Leo, don't ever do that again. He said, okay. Now another time he did it. Before that, I said, I seen him walking down the sidewalk. He's got a 2-wheeler and he's got a refrigerator on there. So I told somebody, I said, what did he do? Just buy a refrigerator next door? He said, no, he stole it. They used to put their appliances in front. I went, oh, God. This guy stole it, wheeled it to his car, and dumped it in the trunk. On my tour is really funny. One of the owners in Union Premium, he was on my tour. And he said, now I know where all that stuff used to disappear. He said, we were wondering how this shit was disappearing. How could these boosters or shoplifters come in there and take the stuff? I said, well, now you know. He said, we finally moved that store and we put it over here, and he named the lot right across the street. Imagine that this guy was on my tour. Unbelievable, the people I used to get on my tour. All right, get on my tour. This Leo hated competition so bad. Me, I could live it. I like competition. It's good. It brings people to the area. I pull up to the restaurant. It was around 7:30, dark. And I glanced over to a vacant store at the end of the shopping center. It's been vacant for a long time. Big store. And I looked in the window and I seen a sign, coming soon, named the restaurant. And I seen pizza ovens in there. Oh, I didn't get upset. I pull up to the front of the restaurant. Leo's standing there. He's got his arms folded like that. I said, what are you mad about? You should see what they're doing on the corner. They're putting an Italian restaurant there. Fuck that. I'm burning it down tonight. You coming with me? I bet, Leo, competition's good. I don't want competition. You either come with me or not. I'm going to do it. I said, all right. I can't say no. He's my partner. I said, all right, Leo. We had to go find a ladder, 8-foot ladder. We get the ladder. We come back. We go to a gas station. You know them water jugs. We use the red container first to fill up the gasoline. You can't get it out of the gas station otherwise. And we put diesel fuel too. So we had diesel fuel and gas. We got 2 plastic water containers and we mixed them, put them together. Put a big cloth, a shirt, ripped up shirt, whatever it was, towels, tied it real tight, stuck it in there. We had the tools to cut a hole in the roof, so we went up the back, pulled the ladder back up on the roof, scurried down to the corner store, made a hole in the roof, placed it in there in the false ceiling. And when we placed it in there, I had a needle or pin strong enough to go through plastic. And I punched holes in it so it would shoot out like a sprinkler system. The other container we left on the, we put it in there also. But the wick we put on the roof. All right? You don't want to light it from in there. So we had a long enough wick. We lit it after we had all this done. And we scurried down to our store, put the ladder back down, went down. It was like 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night, maybe even later. Went outside. By the time we pulled the ladder in the restaurant, and then we walked to the front of the restaurant, we're looking out at the corner, and I said, holy Christ, the flames are 15 feet in the air already. That's how fast this place was burning. And we're watching it with all the people. Now there's firewalls every fourth store. You know, too bad we had a firewall by us. It would have been heaven sent if we would burn our place down. So the place is burning. Who pulls up? Tony Spilotro. He said, whoa, what a fire. I said, yeah, isn't that something? And the guy, some person was there that owned the business. Thank God there's firewalls. Every fourth store. I knew there was. And Tony's looking and he looked at me and he says, what was going in there, Frankie? I looked at him, I says, an Italian restaurant. He said, are you fucking crazy? I point to Leo. He's the culprit. He said, Leo, competition's good. Leo goes like this. That's what I think of competition, Tony. And he walked away. Leo didn't give a fuck about nobody. And I was laughing. I was on my chest. I said, what are you going to do? And when I fight with him, he's my partner. He's a good guy. He said, you're drawing heat on yourself. I said, I guarantee you they don't think we did something that foolish. They never did believe when I told them later on in years that I did that we'd done that. See? The unexpected. Well, I could go on forever, but I don't want to go on forever. So I'm going to end it. I want to try that pizza now. Get that pizza.
We're going to get that pizza.
Where's it? It's got to be done by now. Beautiful.
What do you think, huh?
Now that's the way a stuffed pizza looks like. Don't believe these imposters that go out there with this shit. You got this on camera?
Yeah,
I want you to see that. You'll see them. They're not supposed to put the sausage and everything on top. It all goes in between all the ingredients. You see this? Look at this. There's a piece of sausage right here. Look at that. Benedict, is it good? You can't have a bite either. All right? Look at that. Huh? Isn't that great? Hey, it's good. Now you can make your own pizza at home. And tell everybody. Usually say, don't tell anybody my recipe. Tell everybody. It's good.
Isn't it? Yeah.
That is delicious, Adam. Try that. Remember, that's Mama Josie. My mother's pizza.